Hey there, this is Melissa Marty from To Be Remembered Designs on Facebook, and I am here with a Digital Scrapbooking Day video tutorial for you for this Digital Scrapbooking Day, November 1st, 2014. I have been asked countless times by different digital scrapbookers how I work with double page layouts. So I'm going to break it down for you today and give you some tips on how to create double page spreads in your software, and tell you some tricks that I use to make it go quicker and really make the best use possible out of the templates I have. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this for now. Now, if you have double page templates already that you've purchased or downloaded from free from a designer, awesome. Use those. All you have to do to use those double page 12 by 24 spreads is double click them to open. So let me go to where I have some double page spreads, and I have Fiddle-Dee-Dee Designs new double time templates. And if I open up the preview, you can see what they look like. Oops. Okay, here they are. So these are double page spreads, and they come as a 12 by 24 layout already put together for you. Otherwise, they also come as two 12 by 12 layouts if you'd rather scrap them as single pages. But you can see in the folder here that I have right here is a 12 by 24, and here's a 12 by 24. So if you want to use one of these, you simply double click on it to open. These are TIFF files, so I have to right click and say open with Photoshop. Otherwise it will just open it as a picture for me. And it will load it right into Photoshop or Photoshop Elements for you. And it will already be a 12 by 24. You don't have to worry about anything. You can use it just as any other regular template that you've used in the past and decorate your page, add your photos, add your embellishments, and then save it as a JPEG. And I will show you in a little bit then what to do with that when you're all done. So these double page spreads that you can get from different designers, again, this is the Fiddle-Dee-Dee Double Time set, Double Time 4, that just came out this past week. And if you have some of those double page spreads, they're super easy to use. So I would recommend going with that. If you don't, or if you have a different template that you would like to use, you can still use a double page spread for those too. Now, some people will just have two floating windows open with their two separate templates and kind of work on them side by side. That's fine if that's how you like to do it. I like to have it all in one big file. That way I can make sure everything lines up perfectly so that when I print my pages, whether I print them individually or in a book, everything's going to flow well across the layout. So I'm going to show you two different techniques you can use to create your own double page. First, you're going to have a new blank file open, and you want it to be 24 inches wide, 12 inches tall, and keep that at 300, and say OK. So here's our double page spread. Now you need to pick what template you want to use. Now if you want to scrap from scratch, go right ahead and you're ready to go. But I'm assuming you want to use templates, so let's look at how to do that. Now you have two choices. You could use one template twice for both sides, or you can pick two separate templates to put together to make your double page spread. So let's go ahead and look at a template that I kind of already have picked out. And it is from the Fiddle-Dee-Dee Designs Create Your Own Happy pack. And I was thinking that this template would be really nice to use twice. So we're going to have it on both sides of the layout. So if I open this up in Photoshop, there it is. Okay, so now I need these layers to show up on my double page spread. So I'm going to come to my template. I'm going to make sure I'm all the way at the top. Click on the first layer, hold down Shift, and scroll down to the bottom and get all of the layers selected. Now if I right click, I can duplicate the layers. And I can say where I want them to duplicate to. And if I just say OK, it'll duplicate them right on this template again, so I'll have two copies of everything. That's not what I want. I wanted to send it to my new page, which is called Untitled 1, because I haven't saved it yet. and say OK. And now if we go over to Untitled 1, you can see here is the left side of our page. So now if we want to do this again and use the same layers just over on this side, they're already all highlighted. So now we can right click again and say duplicate layers again. We want to have them duplicated right here on this Untitled 1 document. Say OK. And now you can see that we have 2 copies of all of these elements. We have the first ones that are not highlighted anymore, and we have the new ones that we just added on. They just happen to be on top of one another. So if you hit Control T so that you can move things easily, you can slide it and place it on the other half of the layout. Now if you like it like this, that's fine and dandy. I think it would be really great to have this right side flipped so that the arrows are pointing in, just like these arrows point in. That's easy to do with just the push of a button. So while everything is still highlighted, we're going to go up to Image, Rotate, Flip Horizontal. And that will flip them so that our arrows are all pointed in. And then you can just slide them in. Use your arrow buttons if you need to kind of nudge things around to line everything up. And you have a double page spread. It coordinates very well, obviously, because you're using the same template on both sides. You wouldn't have had to flip this horizontally. You could have rotated it one way or the other. Now obviously, like my title here is backwards, but you're not going to keep that anyway. You're going to replace that with your own, so you can worry about that when you're ready to replace it. And you might not want both journaling spots here. You can decide that later. You can move things around a little bit, but you have your 2 sides of your double template made, and they look great together. So that's one way to make a double page spread. Use the same template twice. I would just recommend rotating or flipping or doing something to that second half so it doesn't look super repetitive. Your other option, let me go ahead and delete everything. Okay, your second option is to use 2 separate templates, not the same template. So let's go back over here and pick out a different one. Badge of Honor is another one of Fiddle-Dee-Dee's new sets. And we can use 2 of these to put together to make our double page layout. Now, if you're going to use 2 separate templates to create your double page layout, I would really suggest that they at least come from the same designer. And I would really suggest that they come from the same template pack. Usually if you buy a pack of templates, they have a very similar style. If I make these bigger so that you can see them a little bit better, you can see that all of these templates have this little scallop on them. They've all got some circles. Most of them have some kind of tilted photo going on. So they go well together already just because they are from the same pack. If you pick 2 different templates from 2 different designers, chances are they're not really going to flow very well together. So look in your packs and try to pick 2 that kind of go together. So I'm going to use these top 2 templates. So I'm going to highlight them both, and I can just drag them over and that will open them up too. Okay, so here's my first template, and I'm going to have this on the left side of my double page. So again, we're going to select all the layers, so all the way from the bottom up to the top. Let me just make sure I went all the way to the bottom. Oops, I didn't. Let's try that again. And we're going to right click and say duplicate layers, and we're sending it to Untitled 1. Okay, and if we go over to Untitled 1, there it is. So now I can close this one out. I don't need that anymore. And I can go to my second template, and I'm going to make sure I'm at the bottom, and then hold down Shift, go to the top, select all of the elements, right click and say duplicate layers, and send it to the Untitled 1 page. And if we go over here, there they are, and they're right on top of the other one, so I'm going to hit Control T to transform just so I can move it a little bit easier. And I'm going to slide it right here. Now you could be done right now. This looks fine. It flows well. I'm going to make a couple changes. I'm not a huge fan of having photos go across. You can see that these 3 photos go across the middle line. If you're going to print separate pages to like put in a traditional book, then you'll have one little tiny sliver of these pictures on your left page and the rest on your right page. And I'm not crazy about that. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this whole right side so that these pictures that are going to get cut off a little bit are along the top, and these pictures that get cut off a little bit are along this side and the bottom, and none of them are in the middle. So while it's all selected still, I'm going to go to Image, Rotate. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees to the right. And now if I nudge everything back where I need it to be, that looks a lot better to me. So say OK, and it'll transform. And then I'm going to send this background paper, because right now it's like in the middle of all my layers. I'm going to right click and send that to the back. That way these flowers I can see all of. And I really like how this string like flows between the 2 pages. That kind of helps tie them all together. But what would help tie them together even more, and just start to think about these kinds of things, is if this little scallop that goes across the top and the bottom of the left page went across the top and the bottom of the whole thing. So I'm going to select this, and let me zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. And this other little ribbon, if I can grab it, right there. And I'm also going to grab this bottom one. So now I have those 3 layers selected, and I'm going to duplicate those layers too. That way I can put them on this page. So I'm going to come over here. You have to be over here when you right click. If I right click over here, that duplicate option doesn't show up. But if you right click over here, it does. So duplicate layers. We'll keep it right here in this file. Okay. And now I've duplicated, whoops, let's undo that. I duplicated the background paper. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, let's try this again. Must have clicked the wrong, we'll do that. And then the scallop and the bottom scallop. Okay, and now we will right click and say duplicate right here. Okay. And now we can drag them over. Alright, and I'm going to move this bottom one back to the middle so it matches up with the other one too. Okay, and let's zoom in a little bit so we can see and make sure everything's lined up here. I'm going to have these meet in the middle. Okay. And this one. And it's okay if you've got a little bit of lines here in the middle, because this is where your page is going to split anyway. If you want to take that shadow off that, you can clear your layer style and it will take that shadow away for you. But it really doesn't matter if there's that little shadow between the 2 scallops, because that's going to be where your page splits anyway. And then same thing for down here. And if you want to make sure that you've got it right on the page split, you can say View, New Guide, and create a new guide at 12 inches so that you can see this one's over a little bit too far, so we'll slide it over. Make sure that your embellishments are right where they need to be so that when you print, you don't have little pieces hanging over to the other page. So I'll move this one over just a tiny bit. Okay, and you are ready to go. And I think that that looks great together. I think it looks like it was designed to be a double page. It flows very well. Again, you'll have to deal with, like, your journaling over here is sideways because we had rotated that. But you're going to have to add your own journaling box anyway, because this isn't a live journaling box. So you can deal with that when you add your journaling there, or you can add a photo there instead. But I think that that looks great. And that is how you use 2 templates, preferably from the same template pack so that they coordinate well, to make your own double page spread. And then you can go ahead and add your own photos and your embellishments and make the page your own. And I used these 2 together to make a page, so let me open that up for you so you can see how it looks. I used the DigiScrap Parade for the Love Of kit. So if you have that kit, it'll look familiar to you. And I add just a few extra flowers from my base kit, but not too many. And so here is my final 12 by 24 double page spread. So if you look at this, you can see the similarities. I kept the scallops in this other ribbon. I added a couple other photo boxes over here just because I had lots of photos to use. But for the most part, I kept the template very similar. I added my journaling in. Obviously, I moved my journaling over here so I could write a little bit more. But I have my template, my layout finished. And so now you need to save it as a JPEG. So I have it saved right now as a Photoshop file. You're going to also File, Save As, and save it as a JPEG. And I've already done that, so I'm not going to replace it. But when you do, you want to make sure that you save it at full strength. My computer's running kind of slow today, so I'm going to cancel this. Make sure you save it at all the way up at 12. And then depending on where you print your layouts, you may be able to just upload the whole 12 by 24 layout right to your printer, and they can print it for you on 2 separate pages or put it into your digital book for you. Not all printers let you do that, so let me show you how to split it apart if you have it saved as a big 12 by 24 and you need separate 12 by 12s. Also, separate 12 by 12s are handy if you want to put it up on Facebook or in a gallery. So here's my JPEG version of it. And again, it's a 12 by 24. I'm going to get rid of that guide because I don't want to see that anymore. Okay, so to break this into 2 12 by 12 layouts, the easiest way is to use your crop tool. So I'm going to hit my crop tool. And if you start up in this corner and hold down Shift, it will keep it a square for you. So once you get down to the bottom, it will automatically be a 12 by 12. And say, yep. So there's your left side. So now when you save this, you'll say File, Save As, and save it as Houghton Trip Left as a JPEG, and say Save. Again, you want to make sure you save it at full strength if you're going to be printing it. And then you can hit Control Z to undo. And then you can crop again. So we'll crop from the other corner now. So starting in this corner and holding down Shift to make sure we get our square. Hit Yes, and there's our right side. So File, Save As, and we're going to save this as Houghton Trip Right. And now you'll have both of your sides saved, and you can add those to your to-print file and get them printed when you print your book next. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and X out of that, and I've already saved it, so I don't need to save anything else. So that's how you can use either one template to create a double page or 2 separate templates to create a double page. So now that you know, go ahead and create a double page with some goodies that you picked up for Digital Scrapbook Day and post it on my Facebook page to be remembered designs for me to see. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy Digital Scrapbook Day.